Alright, so it's day 35, December 12th for A Day, December 13th B Day. Today's topic is going to be on scaled drawings. So far we've used proportions in this unit to solve for x. We've looked at real life situations where you would use proportions. We've calculated percentages using proportions. Today we're going to look at scaled drawings, another way that we can use proportions, and doing some conversions with measurement too. Alright, so a scaled drawing, it shows something that's too big or too small to be drawn to its actual size. So if you think about a blueprint of a house, for instance, that would be an example of a scaled drawing. They may say that, a door is so many inches on the scaled drawing that represents so many feet in real life. So going back to that blueprint example, they would have a scale to tell the conversion. A scale is a ratio that gives the relationship between the distance on the map or drawing to its actual size. So an example of a scale, so here's a map. So we see Leesburg right here, see DC down here. If you look at the bottom right on the screen, we see where we have this little amount that represents 5 miles. That would be an example of a scale. Alright, so your steps for solving these scaled drawings would be this. First, set up your proportion. So on one side you'd put your scale. So for instance, they may say 1 inch equals 5 miles. So that would go on one side. On the other side of the equal, you would have what you want to know. This will make more sense to you in a minute when we start looking at examples. You want to be sure you line up your units. So if you think back to the word problems that we solved a couple of lessons ago, we would have you write your labels and line those up. We'll do the same thing for this. Number 2, solve your proportion and don't forget the unit. Alright, let's try this example here. So we have a garage door that's 16 feet wide, and we have a scale that's 2 inches to 1 foot. Alright, so we'll start by writing the scale. So 2 inches, 1 foot. Because I have inches on the top here, I'll put inches on top. On this side of the equal sign, feet will go here. Alright, so the actual would be 16 feet, so we're solving for inches. Cross multiply, that gives you 1x equals 32. But we know that x is invisible, that 1 is invisible, so it's really just x equals 32 inches. Alright, so example number 2. So back in the day before Google Maps, people would have to pull out their atlas that they had, and they'd have to use these scale drawings to determine the mileage from one city to another. Let's look at an example. So we have a distance from Chicago to Mexico City. The map distance is 10.9 centimeters, and the scale is 1 centimeter is equal to 250 kilometers. Alright, so we'll set our proportion up. I'm going to come over here to the left side to give myself some room. Okay, so I have centimeters on top here. Centimeters go here, kilometers on the bottom. So we're solving for the actual distance in kilometers. We know that the map shows 10.9 centimeters. Alright, so we cross multiply. We have 1x. I'll just leave the 1 off because 1's invisible. That's equal to 250 times 10.9, which is 2,725 kilometers.